here today, and I want to welcome Sarah Martinez. She is the Program and Outreach Coordinator, and also Brian Lopez, Brian Lopez. He is the Executive Director at the Down Syndrome Association of South Texas. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you say hello to the people that are listening right now?
Yes, hello everybody. This is Brian, and thank you for having us today.
Hi, this is Sarah. We're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. Again, this is what you come representing is the Down Syndrome Association. I know we hear a lot about it sometimes, and unless unless it affects you directly, some of us may not know what is it, or what is Down syndrome, or what is available out there if I do have someone who has Down syndrome. And I think just going over a little bit about what you guys are doing. I know that this was established in 1996. Am I correct?
Yes.
In 1996 by a couple of
we had
individuals.
6 founding families.
Right.
So 6 families got together here in San Antonio. They were looking for services and supports. They had loved ones that were born with Down syndrome, and there wasn't a lot. So they came together. They were meeting at families' houses and talking about what they need and what supports could they need to put in place to help them as well as their loved one as they get older. And so it started from that, grew into the nonprofit that we are right now. In 2003 we got the nonprofit status, and we just moved in several years ago into our new building over off of West Avenue in Blanco. It's on Patricia. And we've expanded our services and supports from just that small family of 6, and we still have some of those founding families that are still with us. So they are still involved, help make decisions, and help us with what's needed in the community. So we're glad to have them, and we're excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
I always find it amazing. Sometimes it takes very little, right, to have a heart for something, and you just you realize that there's a need, and you act on that need, just like these family members did. And look how far it's come, and how many people you're affecting or being able to help. And that's a beautiful thing, because again, they know what they're going through, and they know directly what your family may be going through with something that you have to deal with of this nature. And that's I always find very inspiring because it's coming from a grassroots kind of little something that started, and then to get to this. And there's a lot of different stories that start off this way.
Yeah.
What a blessing to be able to make an impact like that. What else is it that I know that I've interviewed some people sometimes, and I'm thinking, you only do one thing, and then they start talking and like, no, we do this and we do this and we do, like, I would have never known that. So I know that everything that y'all are doing, maybe our listeners may not know, but what are the 3 key things that maybe your organization does?
Sure. Well, I'll let Sarah handle that because
Okay.
she does, the program, so she can talk a little bit about our programming. But we go from birth to grave, so we do children and adults. So we want to make sure that their lives are getting services and supports the entire time. So she'll be able to talk a little bit about those services and how we're helping them.
Okay.
Yeah, so we offer a lot of programs, like Brian said, it's lifetime services. We really want to inspire, and help these individuals to learn and to grow. Some of our programs include our teen and adult club that they meet weekly, and that's one of our biggest groups that they just have a great time. I mean, they meet every Wednesday, and last Wednesday we were doing like a High School Musical dance party, and they're doing their crafts, and we have movie nights. They go into our outside area, shoot some hoops, and we have all different volunteers, some that come weekly because they just love that group so much and supporting that group. Some other programs we have include Kids Connection, which we have about once or twice a month on Saturdays. That's more elementary age. They do different crafts, have something to eat. The parents, families are able to socialize and connect. And so that's a really great thing. We have Music and Movement. That's more for our littles, 0 to 3, that we have a volunteer come in, and she has a whole playlist of videos. All the kids have their own individual instruments, and they can follow along. And right now that's still going. We have virtual and in person, but we're switching more to virtual for that group. But that's on our Facebook Live. They have a really good time with that. We also have adult tutoring, and we're working on getting that program back from COVID. And we also have a parent education group that they meet usually monthly, and we have different guest speakers, and then they go over a variety of different topics that families need to know or learn about, from IEPs, which I think are ARDS in Texas, and different like inclusion, nutrition, all different things to really help these families. We have a inclusion group. We have mentors for new families that come in. We have a new and expectant parent breakfast. We have one upcoming this Saturday. And those are just a few. Sibling workshop. There's really a lot that we offer and that we continue to hope to expand on.
Something that you said that kind of piqued my interest there. What you said, something about the 0 to 3-year-old about music.
Yeah, music and movement.
Okay, how does that? I'm curious. How does that kind of work, or what is it that you do? Because when you said that, I'm thinking, okay, do you give them an instrument or something, and they're like, really?
Yeah, they're actually, because at that age, for the individuals living, with Down syndrome, they're having some motor skills. Okay. So they're working on that. They're working on their cognitive skills. They're working on their socialization skills. So as we're working on those with the 0 to 3-year-olds. That's something that they're working on. They may have a tambourine. They may have, the drums. They're working on that. So not only are they hearing the music and enjoying the time socializing, but they're also working. They don't really know they're working, but they're working on that movement and stuff. So it's all encompassing with that.
Right. And I know I've seen sometimes some, shows on TV that, especially kids with needs, right, that they utilize music in so many different ways because it's therapeutic, or however it is that it's affecting them. It's something that's good for them, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of music things besides music and movement. We have a drum circle. We do art therapy as well. They meet once a month, and that's still virtually. And just having that practice with those, fine motor skills, the gross motor skills is really important, because a key aspect of having Down syndrome is having low muscle tone. So just having activities that help to work those muscles. Right. And sometimes we even see, their physical therapists come in with them, or their occupational therapists. And so it's a really great way of adding in that practice while making it fun.
Right. And a lot of times those activities that we kind of take for granted, we think, well, we can do these, it's fairly easy.
Yeah.
But for somebody it may be a challenge, because like I said, it just they're dealing with what they're dealing with, and we think, well, they can do it, but no, they're not the way we are, where they can probably do it really easy. So having these programs available, some of the things that you're doing is helping the child, or like you said, it's from zero to the grave.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's this is what I'm listening to is part of the kids program, or is it also part of the adults, is what you're doing with the kids, or is that something separate that they do?
No, as they continue with our programming, that she mentioned, the teen and adults, they've got their dance nights, they've got their movie nights, they've got their music nights, so they're still continuing with those activities, because it's a continual learning process, but they're also socializing and having fun. So you're putting those two things together, that you're helping them as well as having fun, and who doesn't want to do that? So yeah, that's why looking at the programming, you want to include those things together, and how can they mesh together really well. That's why working with the OT and PT and all those therapists, they're able to help us kind of put those things together to help them, because our goal is to make sure they have the same goals in life that we do. We want them to be in the community. They hold jobs. They're out there working. They're going to school. They want everything that we want. So we need to support them and get them to where they can be as independent as possible. And that's what we really want.
Yeah, and again, I come back to that because I see a lot of things on TV, some of these, that they're able to do so much more than what people think they can do, if given the opportunity, or given that program that is implemented specifically for them, that they become productive people. And I've seen so many different things that are like, wow, you would have never expected. And there's some corporate companies out there that realize the benefit of having, individuals that maybe in their situation, but they're like, they're very committed. They're very, they're faithful in what they do. And it's more than sometimes they can say with the regular employees, like, yeah, we have problems with they don't show up for work, they don't do this.
Right.
But I think they have that, that capability and responsibility that, yeah, we know what we're doing, and so they're opening, a whole lot of different avenues within their corporate facility to employ them.
Right, and that's why we're really strong promoters of having an inclusive environment. I mean, we have individuals with all sorts of abilities, intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities that come to our programs and to our activities. And our education director, Magali Diaz, she'll go to these ARD meetings with the parents and help them advocate, as appropriate, if, like an inclusive environment is the best, and a daycare, school, because they do have those capabilities that they can develop if they're given the chance, for sure.
And these programs that you're providing, I'm assuming they're free of charge, or there's some type of fee involved?
Right now they're free of charge, of course, and we want to keep it that way as best as possible. But that's where you get into fundraising,
Sure.
And with that, COVID hit us really hard. Last year our fundraising and donations were down 52%.
Wow.
So now with everything, hopefully coming back together, we do have our first walk. It's our annual walk.
Okay.
But it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. So it's going to be October 30th.
Mm-hmm.
It's our walk and stroll. And we've got all the information online at our webpage, as well as our Facebook page and Instagram. You can find it. But it's the families, and they're signing their teams up. They come together, they raise money, and then they come and walk. And we've got activities, we've got food trucks, we've got vendors that are there to get more information and more services that not necessarily we do, that others are out there. So it's a time to come together and learn as well. But it's fundraise. So we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for exhibitors, and we're looking for the families to get together and do that.
Right. And that's so important, because I always tell people, I said, look, I don't care what you're doing, it usually costs money to do it, mm-hmm. especially if you're providing the services free for the community or for the people that are really in need. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's like, you may not be able to go and volunteer. And we get that. Sometimes you have a busy life or whatever, but maybe God has blessed you financially. I mean, you can help by donating, $50, $100, whatever you feel that you can donate. And that's allowing people such as yourself to be able to do the work, because sometimes we may not be able to do it. But sometimes if we can contribute and say, you know what, at least I can give you that way, so you keep doing what y'all are doing to help these individuals, that's a big plus there. Yeah. And because, like I said, it unfortunately it does take money, especially the way things are. Everything's so expensive now. Mm-hmm. That I know a lot of nonprofits, a lot of people that are doing things for the community do require funds. Mm-hmm. And so this walk that's happening, is that something? It's just how far do you walk? Because I know some people may not. Well, how far is it? Because I can't walk a block or two.
It's less than a mile, and you don't have to walk. You can still get a team together, come out there, have fun. You don't have to do the walk, but we do walk around. We're over at the River City Church, a community church out in Selma, and so there's an area where we walk around. But again, we have people that will come out there and just support their team. They may not walk. They'll stand at the end as everyone's coming down the finish line. All the participants, they get medals for walking. It's a great time to cheer people on. And again, it's raising education about Down syndrome and raising funds to help support us throughout the whole year. So that's key. And as you were saying, Down syndrome affects everybody. It is a genetic disease. Mm-hmm. It's genetic. So it doesn't look at race. It doesn't look at your economic status. So everybody is affected by it or knows somebody that's affected by Down syndrome. So that's where it's important to come out and help everybody out and support it.
Right.
Yeah, and anyone can be a sponsor, participate in the walk. They can, have a team, and there'll be lots of fun stuff to do. We're gonna have exhibitors, different food trucks, all different things there for people to do. So it'll be a really fun event.
Right, and again, you don't. If you feel you may not be able, I understand, COVID, everything, nobody wants to go out or anything. I mean, that's fine. You could probably still pull out your credit card and make a donation. Yeah. You don't have to physically be there, but even though you're still helping them out, even though you may not be there, of course, if you want to go out and encourage people or be there to support people, they welcome that. But I think the greatest thing you could do is probably donate.
Correct. You could, and that's important to know. If anyone is not comfortable, we still have teams that are putting teams together, and they choose not to go out there, but they still want to build their team. They still want to fundraise and help show that support. So you don't have to be out there. You can go to the page, just do a simple donation. You can actually go and see the teams and donate for a specific team. And again, at your work, create your own team. And even if you don't come out, it's, again, you are raising the awareness and helping support us as well.
So you could basically have a virtual team, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
we did that
Yeah.
last year. Unfortunately,
did
we
you?
had to do the virtual walk last year. So, and as I said, with raising funds last year was down because it's tough to do a walk virtually. But we still got together. Our family still did some walks in their neighborhoods,
Sure.
and it still helped us out as well. So that's the key thing. So hopefully we can get together and have it on October 30th. That's our goal. But again, if you're not comfortable going out there, then it's just about raising awareness and helping support us.
And if someone's listening right now, maybe wants to help, or maybe you are dealing with someone, or someone who has the Down syndrome, and maybe are looking for resources, or maybe what you heard you didn't even know was available for you. Again, that's why part of this fundraiser, what they do is so they can continue doing or providing these services that are available for free. But if someone is listening, or maybe they do want to contribute, where can they go? Or like a website, or is there somewhere they can electronically give? Or maybe they're looking for the resources that you were just talking about.
Right. So we just revamped our website. So it's really easy to navigate now. It's DSASTX.org. And under events, you can find the link to our annual walk, and it has all the information about the walk, and forming a team, being an exhibitor, all of that. We also have a general giving page. We have an Amazon wish list. You can add us on Amazon Smile. We have just general donations that you can make through there as well. And the website's a great resource if you need to talk to someone in particular. If you go to the section that's our team, you can see all of our staff, and email whoever you need to talk to for whatever support that you might need, from education or outreach and programs. That'd be me or Michelle, or to talking to Brian directly, as well as we have a lot of resources on our website that it goes through all our programs and events as well, and things that we're hoping to start back into once COVID calms down some more. But some helpful resources of things that you can do at home with your kids, or just helpful resources to navigating some of the community programs that are in the area.
Right. And it's important, because I know sometimes the individual with the Down syndrome, they think, well, the support is for them, but I know, like, the parents or someone else who's dealing with, I can't even imagine, really, to be honest with you, to have a child that, whatever the case may be, they may have these special needs. I see some of these individuals out there, and they're like, my heart goes out to them, because they have to deal with even more than what a normal kid that you deal with. I know they have the little tantrums. They have, hey, Jimmy, get it down from there and do this. But on top of that, having something of this that affects the child, I mean, it just adds more pressure, or just, dealing with it. But knowing that the parents, if you're a parent maybe, that there are these resources available for you to be able to tap into.
Right, and that's why we have our new and expecting parents. They find out that their loved one's going to be born with Down syndrome. We have family mentors that have gone through the process, so they're there to talk to you, to tell you kind of what they went through. Those are great stories, and those are really helpful. We've got our mom's group, our dad's group. They meet, they come together, they talk about what they're going through at home, their stories, as well as our sibling groups. You think about the parents, what they're going through, but if you have other siblings in the house,
That's right.
and now your brother is living with Down syndrome and he's in the house, what are you dealing with, and how are you handling that as well? So we have our siblings group too, to allow them to get together and kind of express those things and talk about them. So we take that holistic approach, again, from birth to grave, but it's touching the family as well. It's not just the individual, it's the entire family.
Right, the whole unit.
Right.
And when you said that, you don't need to stop and think about that their siblings or something. A lot of times when you have a special need kid, the parents and everything, a lot of their focus is on them, and it makes the other kids feel like, well, what about me? And they deal with a lot. And I know, me personally working with like high school youth, I know that a lot of times it's like, they get more attention than I do. And that adds a whole other dimension to them, because now I feel depressed, or now I feel, this, or whatever the case may be. and now there's another problem that may be brewing there.
Right. And that's why we look at it that way. And so having those groups helps everybody. They get their little time, as well as then when we have our family fun days and our activities where everyone comes together, then you get to see all the families together, so they get to interact as well. So it's kind of looking at that, like I said, that holistic approach of the entire family and making sure we're touching base with all of them.
Right.
Yeah, our parent mentor program helps with that as well. We'll have, a parent who has a child who's maybe a little older or the same age, just depending on what that new parent needs, and we'll pair them with that new or expectant parent to kind of show them the ropes, like, hey, this is what I've done, this is kind of how I've felt, and to be that that support of someone who really knows what that individual family's going through. That's really important. And as I go out and have outreach meetings with our community partners, that's why I say it's not just like the resources that we're providing, it's the support of these other families, and that's so important in having strong and healthy families, and really increasing their quality of life.
Right. And again, because of COVID and everything, I think it's just even more now, because you're dealing with some of these things beforehand, and with everything, the quarantine and everything that's been happening, that's like a whole other added pressure on top of what you already have.
Yeah.
And because I know last year you couldn't do a whole lot, but knowing that this is available, if you're listening again, you don't have to tackle this on your own. I mean, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, you have to know that, we have organizations or partnerships like we do here that are willing and able to help you. So don't think you have to tackle this on your own.
Right.
Because there are people that really care. And like you said, we were talking about that this was really because of several 4 or 5 couples that decided, hey, we need help, and maybe that wasn't available, but they took action. And so they know what you're going through because they're the ones that went through it. And so a lot of times it may be difficult, because if you're not going through it, it's kind of hard to make that connection. But when you're actually, I know what you're going through because I'm going through it right now, I think the connection is even more stronger than anything.
Yeah, that's some of the important pieces. And we've got families that have grown together from that. They started as a mentor, and now they've been together for a long time, and then they pulled them into the mentor program, and they're like, wow, that was great. So now they want to be mentors.
Right, they give back.
Right, that's a great feeling, and that's what we really want.
And that's awesome, because if they're growing, then okay, something good is happening, that they weren't where they were, but because what we're able to give them or accomplish, or being able to give them, that they're coming out ahead of the game instead of where they were, maybe with no hope, or maybe they were depressed or whatever they were going through. But knowing that and then giving back, that's awesome. To be able to know that, hey, we're making an impact, just like what we believe that we can do, and understand that if we're able to provide this, people will benefit from it in the long run. We're almost close to our end of a show here, but is there anything else maybe that you want to let the listeners know?
Just knowing that, again, as they are helping us out, we also have volunteer time. As Sarah was indicating, a lot of our activities we are doing virtually, but we do have some of them that are getting back together. Our tennis group is back together. People go out and help volunteer for our guys, practicing and learning their tennis. Our teen and adult. So not only do we need financial support, but also volunteers. So if you don't have that, 10, 20, whatever amount that you can donate, if it's time that you've got, please feel free to reach out on our webpage. We've got a volunteer application and information for that. So every bit helps.
Right. And again, sometimes you may not be able to help financially, and it's understandable, but sometimes your time is very valuable as well. You can contribute that way. Again, where can they reach out? Maybe they want to volunteer. Maybe they want to give. Maybe they want to be part of the walk that's coming out. Yeah. Where is it that they can reach you again?
So our main webpage is DSASTX.org. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. And Google us. You can Google Down Syndrome Association of South Texas. All of our information will pull up, and reach out to us.
Okay, great. Anything else?
I think that pretty much covers it. You can volunteer really easily on GivePulse, and signing up for our events. We're on Eventbrite. You can just click on the links on our website. It'll sign you up right there.
Well, again, we're almost at the end. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with our listeners what you all are doing, which is phenomenal. May God continue to bless you to do even more than what you're doing already.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you
very much.
And thank you to our listeners who are joining us here again. We'll be back here next week, Saturday, 7:30 p.m., and every other Saturday at 1 p.m. and at 7:30 p.m.